Have you ever wondered if there's a way to bypass death completely? While it might sound impossible, there are actually three fascinating figures in the Bible who never experienced death as we know it. Today I'm going to share their extraordinary stories that have captivated believers for generations. You see, throughout history, billions of people have lived and died. It's the natural cycle of life that seems inescapable. But in the pages of Scripture, we find three remarkable exceptions to this rule. Men who were so close to God that they were taken directly to heaven without facing death. These weren't just ordinary people. They were individuals who walked so intimately with God that the normal rules of mortality didn't apply to them. Their stories challenge our understanding of what's possible and remind us that sometimes the divine breaks through in ways we can't explain. In our next discussion, we'll dive deep into each of their unique journeys and discover what made them so special. Stay tuned to learn about these extraordinary men who defied death itself. What makes Enoch's story so incredible is that he never experienced death. The ancient writings tell us that he lived for 365 years, which is fascinating because it matches the number of days in a year. But here's where it gets really interesting. Instead of dying, he simply disappeared. The texts say he walked with God and was not, for God took him. Now you might be wondering, what does it mean to walk with God? Well, according to various traditions, Enoch was known for his extraordinary righteousness and deep spiritual connection. He wasn't just going through the motions of life, he was living in constant communion with the divine. The ancient Jewish writings tell us that Enoch was like a spiritual astronaut of his time. They say he made several journeys through the heavenly realms, witnessing things no other human had seen. He reportedly saw the origins of the universe, understood the mysteries of creation, and gained insights into the future of humanity. What's even more compelling is that Enoch's story isn't just confined to one religious tradition. Similar accounts of humans being taken to heaven without dying appear in various cultures worldwide. It's as if this story touches something universal in human experience, the deep-seated hope that death isn't the only possible ending to our story. But perhaps the most powerful aspect of Enoch's story is what it represents. The idea that living a life of extraordinary devotion and righteousness can lead to extraordinary outcomes. In a world where we often feel bound by limitations, Enoch's story suggests that there might be more possibilities than we imagine. So next time you look up at the stars, remember Enoch's story. It reminds us that sometimes the most incredible stories aren't just legends. They're preserved memories of extraordinary events that challenge everything we think we know about life, death, and what's possible. Let me tell you about Eliah, a fascinating soul who defied the very concept of mortality. You see, in a small village nestled between ancient mountains, there lived a peculiar man who never seemed to age. The locals whispered stories about him, passed down through generations, each tale more intriguing than the last. Legend has it that Eliah was born during a rare celestial event, when 3 moons aligned in the night sky. From his early years, people noticed something different about him. While others grew older, Eliah remained unchanged, his eyes carrying the same youthful spark they had decades ago. Some say he made a deal with time itself. Others believe he discovered an ancient mystical spring hidden deep in the mountain caves. But what's truly remarkable is how Eliah used his gift. He didn't hide away or exploit his immortality for personal gain. Instead, he became the village's living memory, a keeper of stories and wisdom. He would sit in the town square, sharing tales of events he witnessed centuries ago as if they happened yesterday. Children would gather around him, mesmerized by stories of kings and queens he had served, wars he had witnessed, and loves he had lost. Each generation knew him differently. To some he was a teacher, to others a friend, and to many, a mysterious guardian. But immortality came with its price. Eliah watched as everyone he ever loved grew old and passed away. He witnessed civilizations rise and fall, saw forests turn to cities, and observed how humanity evolved. The weight of countless memories and lost connections shaped him into someone who understood the true value of every fleeting moment. What makes Eliah's story truly special isn't just his immortality, it's how he chose to live his endless life. He taught people that it's not about how long you live, but how you use the time you have. He showed that true immortality lies in the impact we leave on others, the stories we share, and the wisdom we pass down. To this day, they say Eliah still walks among us, perhaps in a busy city street or a quiet mountain village, carrying centuries of stories in his heart. teaching us that while death may be inevitable for most, the legacy we create can make us immortal in our own way. In the ancient scrolls, there's a fascinating tale that has puzzled scholars and believers for centuries: the mysterious story of Melchizedek. You might be wondering, who was this enigmatic figure who supposedly never experienced death? Picture this. Around 2000 BCE, Abraham, one of history's most influential patriarchs, encounters a mysterious priest-king in the city of Salem, now known as Jerusalem. This was Melchizedek, whose name means King of Righteousness. But here's where things get really interesting. Unlike every other biblical figure whose birth and death are meticulously recorded, Melchizedek's origins remain a complete mystery. The ancient texts describe him as having no beginning of days nor end of life. Can you imagine that? A being who exists outside the normal boundaries of time and mortality. Some ancient traditions believe he was actually Shem, Noah's son, who lived an extraordinarily long life. Others suggest he was a pre-incarnate manifestation of the divine. But what makes this story truly captivating is how it challenges our understanding of mortality and existence itself. Think about it. In a world where everything has a beginning and an end, here's a figure who seemingly transcends these fundamental laws. He appears at crucial moments in history, blessing Abraham and receiving tithes, then vanishing into the mists of time, leaving behind no trace of death or burial. The story of Melchizedek raises profound questions about the nature of existence. What does it mean to truly live forever? Is immortality a blessing or a burden? His tale has inspired countless discussions and debates throughout the ages, making us wonder about the possibilities that lie beyond our mortal understanding. Even today, the mystery of Melchizedek continues to intrigue and inspire. In a world obsessed with extending life and cheating death, perhaps this ancient story holds deeper truths about the meaning of eternal existence. Whether you see it as literal truth or spiritual metaphor, the tale of the man who never died remains one of history's most compelling mysteries.